Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day. We understand it's extremely busy right now for a lot of people trying to figure out this new normal as we see it today, which is leveraging technology to work remotely as efficiently as possible. And here at GoodSuite, we have a great partnership with our VoIP provider, and with that VoIP provider is Monster VoIP, and we've really been working with a lot of our clients to give them accessibility to their phone systems in the remote capacity. So wanted to go through a little bit of information about that, how you can get some information, introduce our partner in Monster VoIP, and answer any questions that we possibly can. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Appreciate everyone attending, and let's go ahead and get rolling. So we'll go ahead and get started with, Monster VoIP and GoodSuite have been partnered for quite some time. They are our VoIP provider. They host the PBX for us. It's been a great partnership. They handle the back end of managing the client infrastructure, the PBX system, helping us deploy the phones. I work with Colin, who is going to be introduced on this line as the lead VoIP evangelist for the organization over at Monster VoIP, but it's been a very synergistic partnership due to the fact that Monster has very good technology and, most importantly, the support mechanisms behind it, as we know that there's a lot of decisions and a lot of choices out there for VoIP services. However, we've decided to partner with Monster due to what happens when somebody gets onboarded and how the customer service is handled. So a little bit about myself here. I've been working with the company for a little over 2 years. I'm the Director of Managed Services. My name is Brent Portera. I help with all of our clients' VoIP needs. A little bit about myself. I definitely am an avid marathon runner, love to run, do it on a constant basis. We all know that that's not possible right now. A lot of those have been canceled, but we're still out there. We're still making it happen. We're still running. I am an autism family speaker. I do have a child who has autism, so I understand the demands that that puts on families and just a special blessing that that is in a family. Managed services has been something that I've done for the last 15 years, whether it's been from the document imaging side to full IT technology. Managed service as a whole is something that I've been focusing on for quite some time. Love to coach my kids in soccer. Been coaching for about 15 years as well. I have an older son who I've coached all through his adolescence all the way through him playing in college, and then I have a younger son who I'm still coaching right now, and definitely a family man. Definitely have a wife. She's working with UCLA, so we're definitely transparent. We have a lot of things to do in our organization, and a lot of that does hinge on family. I'll go ahead and I'll turn it over to Colin here. Colin's also on the call with us, and Colin is going to help moderate some of the technology side from the Monster VoIP side. So hey, Colin, how you doing?
Doing good, Brent. Thanks so much for having us. We're really excited, to try to help as many people as possible that are really just trying to get their staff set up to properly work from home and, be able to work remotely and still be productive. A little bit about myself. I'm the head of growth here. I'm an entrepreneur, tech enthusiast, usually a daily swimmer, but unfortunately the swimming pools are closed right now. And so I've been running in the mornings. I'm also a daily meditator and a father of 3. So I got 3 little ones at home. My wife definitely has the harder gig than me. Taking care of those 3 is a full-time job for sure. So yeah, we're going to tell you who is Monster VoIP. We serve a little over 6,000 customers nationwide. We're a true unified communications platform. We've been we've had a few publications. We've been featured in TMC Net, which is a leading publicator in our industry. We've also been featured on Yahoo Finance and LA Business Journal. A couple things that make, Monster VoIP different than your other providers is really the level of service that we provide and the quality. And there's a lot of things that go into providing good quality phone system. Typically comes down to the carriers. We only use top-tier carriers for all origination and termination of the calls, and we're super lightweight. So even on we typically use 1 up and 1 down for every 10 concurrent calls. So what that means is, with a phone system like ours, working from home on a home network, it's gonna work totally fine. You're not gonna have any problems. We're super rich in features. even our standard package comes with 80 plus features. We've listed a few here because these are just the ones that people tend to care about the most. Obviously, mobility is huge. We have a very stable, reliable mobile app that works on both Android and iOS. You get unlimited auto attendance with our system, as well as unlimited call queues, and we have various different types of call queues. You also get audio conferencing as well. And video conferencing from our portal as well is available to everybody, in no matter what package that they sign up for. We also have a desktop app, really helpful for the people that want to work from home and don't, have somewhere to plug in a phone. They can work on that on their Mac or their Windows computer. We also have call recording. We support click-to-call, and we have web fax as well. Talked a little bit about video conferencing. We also have some pretty robust call reporting. You can, view that from the portal. You can also have those reports emailed to you daily or any time frame that you like. We can also email you your voicemails either as a hyperlink or MP3 file. And we also support voicemail transcription as well. Those are just a few of the 80 plus features that come with our packages. We do play nice with others. We're integrated with about 18 different CRMs. There's some that we have a full native integration where we actually have a phone that lives inside the CRM. And then some other CRMs, we have things like click-to-call and inbound screen pops, but pretty much any web-based CRM we can integrate with. We also have full contact center solutions. So what that means is you're going to get real-time data and reports. You can view that in the portal, in the dashboard. You can see stats for your inbound or your outbound call center. You can see, things like average call handling time, average talk time, amount of calls handled, things like that. It's really great for training because you can also monitor calls, coach, or join in calls. Super helpful for training, new employees. Or just monitoring your team, especially now with people, working from home, making sure that, they're still doing their job properly.
Well, and if I could jump in there. So,
Yeah, sure.
Good Suite having part of our organization be a sales focused part of our business model, the remote nature of being able to onboard new hires or to continue to enhance the level of learning and capacity of your current sales reps, I think that's a great feature I definitely don't want to glaze over, is the ability to do a lot of coaching remotely right now. We're finding that most companies we're working with find that to be one of the most difficult challenges that they're facing today, is being able to assist with their current sales reps or with their end users or even their current employees. And there are a lot of features here that really were originated and focus on being able to help someone without having to be in the same room. So definitely want to answer any questions that we possibly can on how call barge, call recording, whisper, all the features that are available to you to make sure that you're giving all the support you possibly can to both your end users and also at this most important time with being able to help your employees continue to stay productive. So just wanted to make sure I had a little bit of insight on that to the users out there that want to understand that feature a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point, Brent. And, I think we mainly promised that this was going to be short and sweet, right? So we wanted to get right to the point and just kind of give you a little bit of understanding of the partnership that we have with GoodSuite, a little bit about our platform, and then, of course, answering questions on pricing as well. Something unique that we're doing right now is we have 3 different packages, and, GoodSuite is the partner that can kind of help you right size, what package is good for your organization. And so with those 3 packages, we have 4 pricing tiers. Typically depends on how many users you have. But because of the current situation, we understand we're trying to make it super easy for people to get started. We're giving everybody who signs up right now our 100 plus pricing, which is our lowest tier pricing. So for all of our packages, regardless of how many users you have, you're going to get our lowest tier pricing. There's no contract to get started, and there's no upfront cost as well. And then just one last thing as well is we're also going to give you your first month for free if you sign up through GoodSuite in the month of April. So, definitely get with GoodSuite and their team. They can help you identify what package is the right fit for your organization and get you a quote so we can get you started. And then, now we just really want to answer any questions that you guys have about the partnership, about getting set up, or any of the features, anything at all.
So we got, a good amount of questions in here, which is fantastic. We really appreciate you guys participating and wanting to be involved here. So one of the first questions we'll get answered here, Colin, is, can I keep my phone number? I think they're looking to understand they have a current business phone number. They want to make sure that they keep that phone number. How do we address that?
Yeah, absolutely. So 100% you can keep all of your existing numbers. And we even, take it a step further to make sure that it's a smooth transition. So basically what happens is we get you fully operational on our system, and then your numbers get ported over. And during that transition time, we provide temporary numbers that your calls can be forwarded to. So the good thing is you're on our system, which guarantees no downtime during the transition. But also when you're calling out, it's going to show your regular numbers so that your customers and your prospects aren't getting calls from a number that they're not familiar with. And they just call your regular number like they would, and it's going to make its way to our system while we're waiting for those numbers to port over. And that process typically takes 1 week from the day that we submit the paperwork to your losing carrier.
And a good question that kind of piggybacked this one, they wanted to know, are we charging for any porting fees? Do we charge the client to get their numbers ported over to our system?
No, absolutely not. So there's no charge to port the numbers. And every extension comes with a DID. So for example, if you had 50 extensions, you're going to get 50 numbers, and you can use those numbers however you want. You can use them one-to-one extensions. You can use them for auto attendance or call queues. And then if you have, there's a small charge for additional numbers if you have numbers that exceed the number of extensions that you have.
Great. Another question that came in was, as far as the conference call, because it looks like that's probably on top of a lot of people's minds. There's a lot of conference calls going on just due to the limited capacity to be in front of a client in presence, feet on ground. They wanted to understand how many conference call numbers come with standard deployment. So if they, for instance, had 10 extensions that they've ported over to our system, how many conference call bridges are they going to have with those 10 numbers?
Yeah, great question. So you get one conference bridge per extension. So for example, like if you had 10 extensions, each of those extensions is going to have its own personal conference bridge. And you only need one phone number to act as the auto attendant to access the conference room or the conference bridge. So yeah, you get one conference bridge per extension.
Great. And that's a big thing right now. I think people should understand that being able to have as many conference bridges as you have extensions is probably key, because I know a lot of companies are scrambling to find what partner they can find to elevate their amount and volume of conference calls that they can make. And this is a one-to-one. So it's a great feature that we're offering here. Another great question that did come in was, can we keep our existing phones?
Great question. So the short answer is we work with most IP phones. There's really 3 brands that we prefer to work with in this order. Yealink definitely being the preferred brand, mainly because the durability of the phones, they're extremely cost effective. They interact with our switch extremely well, and they're very easy for the users to use. I think you guys use Yealink, right, Brent?
Yeah, I think it's probably 90% of our deployments are utilizing Yealink.
Yes.
Overall, the feedback has been fantastic. So I think best bang for the buck phone, full of features. And like you said, what's important is transitioning technology for an organization sometimes is a bit of a daunting task. So we wanted to partner with the manufacturer that made that transition as simple as possible. And we find that Yealink has the most user-friendly interface of all of the phone providers that are out there. So we definitely prefer Yealink.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have a Polycom, then we can definitely work with those too. and those are decent phones as well. And if you had some Cisco's, it's possible, a little bit more cumbersome, not as great of a user experience. But anything outside of those three brands, we would definitely recommend that you replace them. And we make it extremely easy as well. So you can either buy those phones or you can rent them for a small fee as well, which a lot of people tend to go that way because of the unlimited warranty that they get through the rental program.
Yeah, makes sense. A good question, which I'll take the first part of the answer and then I'll throw it over to Colin. But one of the questions that came in was, do you provide on-site installation? And as I prefaced at the beginning of this session, GoodSuite is a full technology provider. So we are a full managed IT provider, we're a full managed VoIP provider, and those two really coexist with each other. So not only are we able to provide the VoIP services and the systems to the end users, in addition, we actually have a full team of certified technicians that are able to come out, implement on-site if need be, understanding the current challenge that we face as the economy. We understand that might be a bit challenging. However, if need be, we are able to get out to your site to set up the systems for you with a complete white glove approach. But then there's also an ability through the relationship with Monster where there's a full remote capacity to get these set up. And I'll go ahead and I'll let Colin explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we provide 24/7 support, and we are very involved in the onboarding process. So, typically we work with one person that's kind of leading the charge in the implementation and get all the phones deployed and programmed and training and all that. But we are here, during this time, and we will work with your individual users, one-on-one to get them set up for success from the beginning. So that's definitely not a problem. And I think GoodSuite, once people are back in the office, also would, offer their white glove services, to maybe deploy phones or do, change some additional things once people are transitioning, from home, back to the office.
Yeah, and I think to close that question on, I think it's really important that we definitely emphasize that with these onboardings, what's really important is you have all the functionality of enterprise level VoIP solution. However, you get a very catered solution touch where you have one team that's going to work with your deployment, meaning that each time you call in, there's a familiarity with your account, what nuances currently exist, making sure that the experience of onboarding, which we understand that there could be some negative assumption out there and working with some of the larger providers out there where you're dealing with somebody new every time you have a ticket that gets generated for a support call. With us, you have people that are directly assigned to the account. So they're going to have that user experience be on the forefront of how that's going to get deployed out into your environment. So just wanted to make sure I talked about that a little bit. We do have one here, and this is a great question because this is what we're all hoping for. I mean, we don't know when we're going to be able to go back into the office full time, but we know that that time will come. And the question is two-part. What happens when we go back to the office? And then what happens to the promotional pricing that has been offered through this solution?
Yeah, great question. So, if when they go back to the office, the phone is going to work the same as it would from home in the office, whether they're using our desktop app, which is, on their either Mac or PC, or whether they've decided to get an IP phone and then they just plug it in when they get back to the office. So all your settings, everything would be the same. They plug the phone in, ready to go. But if they wanted, maybe some people, we're seeing some people are deciding to go with a desktop app for now. They don't want hardware shipped, and then they might go to a actual IP phone when they return back to the office, which that's an option as well. And then the second part of that question is the promotional price. So we're not changing the price. So the price that you sign up at is the price that you will remain at. We're just trying to make it a little bit easier for people to make a decision to support their workers that are now working from home. That's why we're giving the lowest tier pricing. That's why we're giving you 1 month for free. And then when you get back to the office, your price is not going to change. That's not a promotional price. That is the price that you will remain at as long as you're a customer.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think, one addition to that is, we understand that some users may not have the best connectivity at home, and your concern is being able to utilize this type of technology over someone's network at home where, you're not in control of what that bandwidth is, what type of infrastructure is at that end user's home. So one thing to keep in mind is we do offer this package also as a phone application, whether it's Android or iOS, that we can port extensions into, and you could use your cell phone on the cellular network just as if you were using it on a normal VoIP solution. So all of your calls can be transferred. You can do everything that you can do on a desktop phone while you're on your cell phone. So there's a myriad of different options. I think the biggest thing here is our capacity to custom tailor the approach on exactly what makes the most sense for your organization. And the benefit of this type of technology is the scalability. It can scale up, it can scale down. We can maneuver as things change in your environment, because one thing we know for certain is that the future is uncertain right now. So we want to make sure that we're helping everyone out, not feeling like they committed to something that they don't know how that's going to work out for them in 90 days. And lastly, one of the questions came in, what's the contract term? And I think this is probably a good segue into that. They want to understand what the contract requirements are to get that promotional pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no contract required. That's our month-to-month pricing that we're offering everybody. Now, however, we do offer some incentives. If you decide, that you do want to move forward and commit to a 1, 2, 3, or 5-year term, you can absolutely do that, and you'll get an additional discount off of the pricing that we're already giving. But the price that we're showing you today, which is also on our website, is the month-to-month pricing. And something else that's extremely important to note, that is your all-in price. All taxes and fees are included in that price.
Great point.
Your bill is not going to be 20 or 30% higher with telecom surcharges and taxes and fees. The price that you see in the webinar today is the price on our website, and it'll be the price on your bill.
Yeah, that's a great point, Colin. I mean, I think a lot of the opportunities that we've been able to facilitate this solution for, that was a big sticking point for them, was they were promised a price on the front end, and then when the billing came out, there was a lot of surcharges that they weren't aware were going to be layered into their monthly expense, which ended up causing some concern and some going over budget situations. So, we wanted to keep this short. Hopefully we've answered as many questions as we can. We'll definitely get you some contact information here. So you obviously have hello at Monster VoIP. Everything that GoodSuite does, we definitely do on our platform. So you see our website managed at goodsuite.com as well. Any inquiries that you have, feel free to send to that email address. We're always reachable. Our phones are always ringing. We are still open. We are definitely one of the essential businesses and feel blessed to be in this position. But we really feel that it's a responsibility to us to make sure that we're extending these services out to clients that still operate in today's climate, and making sure that we're helping you connect with your end users, because that's the real damaging part right now, is the inability to connect with what makes our business run is really what we're trying to bridge the gap on. So we hope that you definitely took some advantage and got some great detail and information on this quick session that we had today. We will be sending this out to all the attendees that are on the session today. And then we'll also have an on-demand session. So feel free to reach out to us. We'll get anything answered. Colin, do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
No, that's it. I mean, we're excited to get more GoodSuite, customers on board and get them the solutions that they need to support their workers in this, current environment.
All right, everyone. Well, stay safe. Take this time to definitely spend it with your families. I mean, that's the one beauty that we do have out of this unfortunate situation, is that we are home. We are with our loved ones. Hopefully everybody's able to stay safe. We're here to help. If there's anything that we can do beyond just the phone systems, we're here to help. So feel free to reach out. We really appreciate your time.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.